Do you know the saying, the riches is in the niches? To me, the best definition of a niche is people running after you with credit cards in their hands, ready to buy because you're solving a problem that's been ruining their lives forever. But how to make sure that this niche is profitable? So in this video, I'll show you the step-by-step in order to find your profitable coaching niche. Stay tuned. I decided to share this with you today because a lot of coaching or consulting businesses fail before they even get started because they get this all wrong. They forget to really choose the segment of the market they want to work with. This course is for aspiring coaches and consultants, speakers, podcasters, service providers, therapists, whoever has a service to offer. This will really, really serve you well. The big reason why you want to find your niche is because you want to avoid a message that's too broad. You want to avoid serving everyone with everything because you want to become a specialist. Think about yourself when you go see a doctor, or if you have, let's say, a sprained ankle or a fractured ankle, will you go see the ortho for surgery, or you're going to see your general practitioner? Well, you're going to see the ortho because he's a specialist, she's the specialist, and they will be able to provide that surgery that you need. If you serve everyone with everything, the problem is that your message will be very, very hard to nail. It will be hard for you to actually for your potential clients to relate to your message because you will try to reach everyone with everything. Plus, it will make you the jack of all trades, not specialist of anything. So a little bit good at everything, but not great at anything. And that's not how you want to position yourself. I hear you in the background here asking me, well, Fabienne, what if I have more than one skill? Okay, so what you do, you choose one, okay? I know you might be curious or have a lot of talents, a lot of zones of expertise or zones of genius, but the most important thing when you get started is to focus on just one thing, because as I said earlier, easier to nail your message, easier to nail your target market, and easier to talk to that specific client you want to work with. Okay, so it accelerates your authority, your credibility, your trust, and you want to become that go-to person, not that generalists. So I have a few examples of former clients when they came to see me, what their problem was. So one of them, graphic designer, she was doing everything. She was building websites. She was actually offering to do flyers. She was doing t-shirts. Like she was doing everything, t-shirt designs and everything. And it made her really exhausted at a certain point because she always had more and more requests from her clients because the clients realized that whatever they were asking, she would deliver it. And for her, it was extra work because each and every single segment of the graphic design that she was not great at, well, she needed to put extra hours on it to become better at her craft. And it made her, really exhausted at a certain point. Or another example, I have someone who came to me and wanted to work in the niche where there's not a lot of need, or, where people don't necessarily have the money to invest into it. So that was a great mission, let's say for a nonprofit, but it was not a great mission or a great goal for profitable business, coaching business that he wanted to have. And then there's another example I have, someone who was not clear on who they wanted to serve and what they wanted to do, and extremely curious about many things, and kept niche hopping and not being specific on one segment of market to work with. So that's really what we worked on, and that's what made him being able to sign more and more clients eventually. If you serve everyone with everything, the problem is that your message will be blanding. You can't be very specific with what you ask for. So it will be very hard, especially if your different audiences don't hang out at the same place. It means that you will need to be everywhere and you will have to spread yourself too thin, and your message will be broad, and you won't have any results with your business, and you'll get discouraged, and you will say, this thing doesn't work. So let me tell you now, which are the 3 most popular niches that exist and that never die. The number 1 is health and fitness. 2, dating and parenting and relationships. 3, business and money. Any type of service that you offer within these 3 niches seem to be quite well started, okay? That's not it though, because there are specific steps that you'll have to go through, and this is what we're going through during this class. But yeah, if you start with anything that you offer as a service in one of these 3 niches, you're already up to a great start. Now you ask yourself the question, is your zone of genius serving people in these 3 popular niches? If that's the case, yay, let's move on. If that's not the case, well, keep looking for one, okay? Until you get a service within these 3 niches. Have you identified what your zone of genius is? So if you don't know what your zone of genius is, you could ask other people who know you pretty well, and ask them what you're great at, why they always come to you for advice and stuff like that. So you identify what your zone of genius is. You're great at it. You might have experience in it. You can get results for the people you serve with it. Okay. So these are your zone of genius. For example, my zone of genius is helping others, like I said earlier, monetize their expertise and transfer that into a coaching or consulting business that is profitable and brings in client to their businesses. Another one of my zone of genius is simplifying. So something I'm able to take something that's very complex, simplify it, and actually express it in a way that's very simple to understand and give the step-by-step to get to that result. So these are my zones of genius. And that's why I'm doing what I'm doing. And that's why it feels good to do it. And it really fulfills me when I witness my clients getting these results, because I'm using my zones of genius to do what I do each and every single day. So the first exercise that you have to do is a niche dump. So you have to brainstorm about any zone of genius and any segment of the market you would love to work with. That's the first exercise. So press pause, take a piece of paper or open a Google Doc and write niche dump, and write all those zones of genius that you think you have and all those segments of the market that you think you want to serve. So here are a few examples. Business coach for former athletes, speaker for healthcare companies, fitness coach for executives, life coach for car accident victims, content strategist for doctors, etc. Okay? So I really invite you to press pause now and write your niche dump. When you're done with your niche dump, you need to evaluate what affinities do you have with the niches that you chose, okay? Is that something that's dear to your heart? Because there's one thing that the niche is profitable, but there's another thing that's called purpose and feeling fulfilled. So if you get into a niche because you know it's going to generate a lot of money and you don't have your heart into it, then it will definitely influence the type of results that you're going to have with that business. So let's see if you have affinities with that niche that you identified and the zone of genius. So your zone of genius and the segment of the market. Here are a few questions that you need to ask yourself to see if you have affinities with the niche and the zone of genius that you chose. What happened in your life that you are the most proud of? When people talk about you, what do they define as something no one masters more than you? Did you win any prizes, or were you recognized for something? What are you passionate about? What makes you feel energized, happy, and fulfilled when you do it? What do you want to know more about? How would you spend your time if money was not an issue? What do you stand for? What would you like to be known for? What is something that you would love to learn and that someone you admire does? So answer all these questions, and it will definitely help you confirm the choice that you made about the niche you want to explore and the zone of genius you want to express. Compile your answers and take the one in which you have the most affinity and stick with it. That's the thing. Stick with it, okay? Now, what problem can you solve with your skills? Okay, remember that people pay for the pain that they have. They want to get rid of it. The deeper the pain, the greater the transformation, so the more lucrative the niche can be. To help you with your reflection, people pay to be, to have, or to feel. They pay to be less stressed, a better version of themselves, for example. They pay to have freedom, to have money, to have clarity. They pay to feel loved, to feel confident, to feel happy, etc. These are just a few examples, but usually people pay to be, to have, or to feel. I give you a few examples. People can pay to be from overwhelmed to confident, from unclear to clarity, from obese to fit, from broke to financially independent, from stressed to calm and serene, from clientless to more than they can handle. In order to help you out in finding really and confirming the segment of market that you want to work in, interview 3 to 5 people and ask these questions. What's your biggest struggle about XYZ, depending on what problem you want to solve or which niche you want to serve? If you had a magic wand, what would you want to happen as a result in this? And how would you finally feel when that problem is solved? So you really want to tap into the 2 extremes of the situation. So what the problem is, what the pain is, and also when the pain is solved, what kind of excitement and what kind of result are they expecting to get and how it will make them feel. This part is extremely important because it will allow you to use the right language when you do your marketing or when you express your messaging through your social media, through your website, through whatever meeting that you have, networking or virtual meetings, etc. So when you know exactly where the person comes from and where they want to go, well, it's easier for you to express it. And also it's easier for you to nail the right program with the right steps to make them achieve that goal that they wish to achieve. Then you have to niche down into the most profitable problem that you can solve, and you have to be very specific. You can use tools like Google, Amazon, YouTube, courses, influencers, products, etc. So for Google, for example, if you chose a niche, well, you want to look on Google if there's a lot of searches in that niche. Are there courses that are sold? Are there influencers advocating for that niche? Are there people buying a lot of stuff in that niche? So that will give you an idea that people are already looking for that type of service. Amazon, for example, you can go on Kindle and see if there are books written on the topic. And if the book is under 150,000 in the ranking, it means that it's worth exploring as an idea or as a niche. YouTube, oh my God. A lot of people are on YouTube now. So if you make a search on YouTube and if you see that there's a lot of content around your area of expertise, if people are already having a lot of discussions and comments on this topic, well, it's a good sign. If there are courses, if people buy already many products from that niche, if influencers are talking about it, it's a good sign. So there are 3 conditions to make profits in your niche. You need a starving audience, you need an urgent desire or problem, and you need to provide the solution. A starving audience, it means that the audience is eager to find you. avoid that big mistake to try to force something into a market. So if the market's not ready for it, if the market is not looking for it already, please don't force people or don't try to convince people. I hate it when I hear that language. Well, I have to convince that person to buy from me. No, you shouldn't actually. The person is supposed to be in a place where they're already looking for your product or your services. Remember that people buy what they want, not what they need, okay? Always remember that. They need to have an urgent desire or problem. Urgent means that it's ruining their lives at the moment. If they don't do anything about it, they are in deep trouble. Like their life is going to be worse. Something bad will happen to them, or they're going to be burnt out, or it's something that really annoys them and they are looking really to find the solution. And then you provide it. So you want to position yourself as the person who provides the solution. Here are examples of a few urgent desires or pains. So you have parents of a teenager in his period of rebellion, don't know how to communicate with him or diminish the stress and tension in the household. Yeah, that's kind of urgent. Newborn baby crying constantly and parents unable to soothe him. That's urgent. Husband in need of salary increase because wife just got cancer and will need more medical expenses. Johnny suffering excruciating pain from tooth cavity, looking for relief. Sandra needing to stay in shape and not gain weight back because she just got injured and will not be able to play sports for 8 weeks. And Carl, at the verge of major depression after being fed up with corporate job, has a strong need to find another stream of income. So all of these are urgent needs, urgent pains, urgent desires. So to soothe that pain, to relieve that pressure, to find a solution is really important to these people. And you got to be looking for the people actively looking to solve that solution already. Now you can finally express what you do for your audience. So I help these people do whatsoever so they can blah, blah, blah without blah, blah, blah. In fact, you could say I help whoever do, or the verb that you help them with so they can blah, blah, blah without is not necessarily important to get, but you could add it. And you also must identify what makes you different. Is it your personality, your framework, your approach, the experience you provide, etc.? Okay, for me, I'm the creator of the Dream Method. So whoever works with me, my clients go through this specific winning framework in order to get from no clients whatsoever to having finally built their dream business and having clients in it and really feeling confident and changed forever. Because when you live your purpose, your life is different. Usually you're happier. The last step that you have to do in order to identify if you have the most profitable niche and if your consulting or your coaching business will be worth spreading or will be worth exploring or putting energy into. Okay, so you have to checkmark your niche checklist. All of these need to be checkmarked. If one of them is not, then you need to work on it until it's checkmarked. Interest for this niche. I have a flood of ideas for that niche. I'm skilled in this niche more than anyone else. I'm passionate about that niche. Then your why. I know exactly why I want to focus on that niche specifically. I know whom I want to help. I know how I can help the people in my niche. Is there major curiosity for this niche? There are lots of blogs and websites for that niche. People are actively looking for new info every day in this niche. There are more than 1,000 searches per month on Google in this niche. And there are a lot of forums and social media groups in that niche. And finally, is that niche profitable? I have a solution for a problem that people have in this niche. I can definitely use what I know as an expert to sell a service in that niche. I have proof that people are spending money in that niche already. And there are a lot of people doing paid advertising in that niche. So if you check mark all of that, it means that you finally found your winning, profitable niche. Test, refine while getting paid for it. I mean that get started, before it's perfect. Get started, put yourself out there, have your first client, help someone, and see how that goes. It doesn't matter if everything is not set up the right way yet, but what's important is that you are dedicated into giving your all for that first client that you're going to get and helping them go from point A to point B in the most meaningful way and with all the knowledge and all the experience that you have. Because the more that you take care of your first few clients, the more they will become your long-lasting advocates for your services, and they will refer clients to you and to your business all the time. So you have the power to create the life that you desire. You have something within you already that's your zone of genius. That's something unique and meaningful that you need to share with others. Because when you don't do that, when you keep all of that for yourself, but you know what? You're being selfish. Okay. In my next video, I show you how to become a 6-figure coach online. Click here to watch it.